يا ذاكر الأصحاب مؤدبا واعرف عظيم منازل الأصحاب.
Umar never said in the hadith, his hadith, that he heard it from the Prophet. Never.
What does that mean? We used to read it. We have already agreed with the Qur'an, is right?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Al-Munazzal ila Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes. We agreed.
Yes.
So Umar is saying this used to be in the Qur'an. Yes.
Where
we used
is
to
it
read
now?
it in the Qur'an.
Where is it?
Okay. Yes. In the same very report. The report is
Should it
using.
not be in the Quran?
Yes. Ayatul Rajam. Ayatul
Should it
Rajam.
not be in the Quran then? Ayatul Rajim.
Do you know
Is
the
there
Quran
Ayatul
has nasikh and mansukh? Do you know about it?
Okay.
Yes. Do you believe it? Okay. Do you believe in nasikh?
I believe in nas. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this was one of the mansukh verses.
No. What kind? There are 3 types of nas.
Okay. What is it?
3 types of nas.
Which one? Yeah. Tell me which one.
Right.
Yeah.
One of them is tahrif. The one you're talking about is tahrif.
No.
The very thing you're talking about.
We got hadith that
No, you're getting
No. Why? Because you mentioned Sahih. No. You're moving
You
from
said, you said, sorry, you said
Yeah.
something that doesn't need ta'wil, that's clear. So Umar has to say, Allah revealed the Quran to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah.
Then Allah and the Prophet mansukhed it, but
They didn't have to be placed in the Quran.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. It's your brother Bro Hajji coming to you from Birmingham. I hope everyone's in good health, good iman. Everyone's, well, obviously getting acclimatized to the winter coming. It is, getting a bit chilly nowadays. So this particular video, it's an interesting one. I hope you enjoyed the previous video regarding Mecca and Hajj degraded. As far as this video is concerned, as you've seen the previous 2 clips that I put up at the start of the video, you can see that it's been a contentious back and forth with our Shia friends in relation to Ayatul Rajam. Now, the hadith in Bukhari and elsewhere, as you can see, it's in Muwatta, Bukhari here, and obviously the explanations, obviously Fathul Bari here, and you got Nawawi explaining it in Sahih Muslim, it's also in Sahih Muslim. So I'm going to get to that in part 2, depending on how much time I have. I might put it in part 1 as well, but I'm not sure yet, depending on how much time I take. So we've had, as you've seen in the clips, we've had obviously one of the brothers say, where is it? Is Ayatul Rajam, where is it? Umar ibn Khattab said it was revealed, where is it? And he was like really putting an argument forward. And then in the other video you had our friend saying, Umar ibn Khattab has to say Allah and His Messenger revealed it. Umar ibn Khattab has to say Allah and His Messenger revealed it, and then mansukhed it, because obviously we've got an explanation and a principle why that ayat wasn't in the Quran, and I'll get to that soon. But obviously it's regarding nasikh and mansukh, and there's 3 types of nasikh that obviously we will get to, and that's how I explain it. But they were not obviously were not agreeing with us with that. So what I thought I'll do a bit of research, and I'll see what Shia sources have got to say about this. Now, again, if you feel that any of the narrations I bring is weak, or if there's any sort of contentious, because again, your actual principles, your actually clarification of these narrations, you would have to obviously again say to me that this is weak because of X, Y, and Z. Your tawfiqat, your tawfiqat aman and your tawfiqat hasan. So obviously all of this will be explained later. I don't want to get too much into it. Couldn't get me words. I've got a bit of a sore throat, so forgive me if I'm not sounding clear. Your tawfiqat. So your tawfiqat, again, obviously, we need to obviously understand obviously whether the rulings that you're going to present regarding these narrations is because it's weak regarding a khasan, meaning these specific narrators, or is it aman, because obviously you're going to reject it or probably present it as authentic because of an am hukam by your ulama. So let's get to the point. Alright, so when quite agreeing with us in relation to Ayatul Rajam, the explanation was way over their head, they didn't want to agree with us, so I thought let me present Shia sources. So then obviously Umar ibn Khattab isn't the problem then, because obviously if they're one of the infallible Imams mention it, and we'll prove this from many narrations from different centuries over time, obviously connecting the evidences together, and we'll see, look, it's quite well established within your faith as well that this ayat came down. So Umar ibn Khattab radhiyallahu anhu obviously has no Umar ibn Khattab, when he said what he said, didn't have any problems, or you guys shouldn't have any problems with Umar ibn Khattab, and we want to make you say that officially as well. So this is the first one. Ilal al-shara'i للصدوق, and this is written by Abi Jafar al-Saduq, and he's very well respected because if you look at the titles, للشيخ الأقدم ومحدث الأكبر, meaning giving him, you know, very, very grand titles. So here's the first book that we're going to call Ilal al-Shara'i, okay, للصدوق. And again, I'll make it clear, it's just purely academic. This is not a dig at anyone personally, it's purely academic. There's no malice intentions, just educating the audience. And again, like I said, if you want to, you know, weaken it because of X, Y, and Z, with regards to X, Y, and Z, due to an ilal here or an ilal there, let us know. And obviously, you know, I'll obviously agree or disagree. So first of all, here's the book, Ilal al-Shara'i, page number 423, and this is hadith number 14. So I'll read the chain because a lot of people say I'm trying to hide the chains for some strange reason, but you know, I put them in the description box, so I don't know how I'm trying to hide it. So it says, حدثنا محمد ابن حسن عن الحسن ابن حسن ابن أعبان and Ismail ibn Khalid. So he's the narrator, quite long. I think he's going back. His lineage is quite going back. So he said, قال قلت لأبي عبد الله, I said to Abi Abdullah, في القرآن رجم. Is rajam in the Quran? And you can see there's a question mark in there. So he's asking, was there an ayat in the Quran regarding rajam? Because there's a question mark. He's asking a question. So Abi Abdullah says, نعم. Yes. Now I'll put it back to the same individuals. Abi Abdullah is saying there was an ayat of rajam in the Quran. Clearly. So have you got an issue with this now? Are you going to contest this in relation to your opposition to Umar ibn Khattab? You know, are you just, is it only solely based on because Umar ibn Khattab narrated it in Al-Bukhari? That's the only reason why you're opposing it? Just to point score? But Abi Abdullah says, nah, yes there was, clearly. Then he quoted what the verse was. He said, Al-Shaykhu wal-Shaykhatu إِذَا زَنْيَ فَرْجَمُوهُمَا الْبِتَّ فَإِنَّهُمْ قَدْ قَدِيَ شَهْوَةً. So that was the ayat that was revealed. Clearly, again, I'll repeat it again for emphasis. This individual asked, قُلْتُ لِأَبِي عَبْدِ اللَّهِ فِي الْقُرْآنِ الرَّجْمِ. Is there an ayat of Qur'an, or was there an ayat revealed of rajm in the Qur'an? قَالَ نَعَمْ. Yes, there was. Where is it? So you need to explain why this ayat wasn't in the Qur'an. We've got an explanation, and you need to present why. Because I'll present in the second part what Imam Nawawi says, and then wow, Ibn Hajar says. Depending on time, I might just quote Imam Nawawi. So that's clear. Ilal al-Shara'i, okay, clearly confirms there's rajm in the Qur'an. Where is it? Again, you need to question this now, like you were questioning us. Rajm, clearly in the Qur'an. So, that's Saduq, Ilal al-Shara'i, go get it check. And again, if there's anything that obviously isn't, you know, it doesn't meet your criteria, then let us know. Now, let's now join the evidences. Now we're going to go to Tafsir al-Qummi. Okay, Tafsir al-Qummi, he passed away in the 3rd and 4th century like as-Saduq. So again, they're very, very close together. And Tafsir al-Qummi, his name is Abi Hassan al-Ali ibn Ibrahim al-Qummi. So in Tafsir al-Qummi, he's doing a tafsir of the ayat, which Tafsir al-Qummi, volume 2, page 96. Sorry, 96. Yeah, so he's doing a tafsir of the ayat in Surah An-Nur, and he mentions the ayat al-Zaniyatu wal-Zani fajlidu kulla wahidun minhuma miyata jalda. So the unmarried woman and the unmarried man, whip them 100 times, 100 whips, etc. Unmarried. Now is explaining this, and under here he says, وَكَانَتْ آيَاتُ الرَّجْمِ نَزَلَتْ. Clear. He goes, and there was an ayat of rajm which was revealed. There was an ayat of rajm that was revealed. Clearly. وَكَانَتْ آيَاتُ الرَّجْمِ نَزَلَتْ. And what was the ayat that was nazalat, which was revealed? الشيخ والشيخة إذا زنيا فرجموهما البتة فإنهم قد قضي شهوة نقلا من الله والله عليم حكيم. That was the ayat. So clearly, again, let's bring them both together now. Clearly, the same, well, not the same, but I'm talking about like the ayat that was revealed. The actual ayat that was revealed was, again, what Saduq mentioned in Ilal al-Shara'i, and he says here, في القرآن رجم قال نعم. This is from Abi Abdullah. Okay, this is from Abi Abdullah, who says, and the ayat was الشيخ والشيخة إذا زنيا فرجموهما البتة, and the ayat ends. the same narration and the same ayat that came down, because at the start of the tafsir he says وَكَانَتْ آيَاتُ الرَّجْمِ نَزَلَتْ. So he confirmed that there was an ayat of rajm that was revealed to the Prophet ﷺ, and he mentioned the same verse that was revealed, which obviously came down and obviously wasn't placed in the Qur'an. So two of your major scholars, one from a hadith from Abi Abdullah and another one from a tafsir of Al-Kummi, confirming exactly what I have said. Obviously Umar ibn Khattab said the same thing in terms of that there was an ayat of rajm, and obviously he would have placed it in the Qur'an, but then people would say that obviously there's additions in the Qur'an. But the Prophet ﷺ was, when before he passed away, recited the Qur'an to Jibreel ﷺ twice in that year, and this wasn't placed in, hence obviously there's an explanation which we're going to present later. But what I want is, because there was so much opposition from certain individuals, and even I've gone on websites and they've said, oh, where's this ayat al-rajm, they're trying to attack Umar ibn Khattab, in the integrity of Umar ibn Khattab. Now you've got your own Imam saying that there was an ayat al-rajm, and you've got your own tafsir Kummi, Mr. Kummi, Ali Ibrahim, saying that there was an ayat revealed. Okay, so now there's 3rd and 4th centuries confirmed now that this ayat was revealed. Now we're going to go to the 11th century, and we got tafsir al-Safi here. So Saduq confirms there was an ayat al-rajm and gives a narration for it. Here it is. And Tafsir al-Kummi, or Mr. Kummi, Ali Ibrahim, confirms there was an ayat al-rajm after explaining the ayat in Surah An-Nur. Al-Zaniyatu wa-Zani fajlidu kulla wahidu minhuma miyata jalna. So there's two. And now you got Tafsir al-Safi now. So we're going to present Tafsir al-Safi. Now we're going to connect the evidences to show you this isn't a case that you could attack Ahl Sunnah with ever again, because it's in your own books clearly confirming that this ayat was revealed. So Tafsir al-Safi, page 410. Okay, 410, Tafsir al-Safi, Surah An-Nur, explaining Surah An-Nur. And he says, obviously he quotes وَفِيهِ فِي التَّحْدِيبِ, obviously there's a narration in Tahdib an Sadiq alayhi salam. الحر وحرعته إذا زنيت جلد كل واحد منهما 100 جلدة, and he explains فإما محسن ومحسنات فعليهما الرجم. So he goes, here it is. So he goes, in Tahdib, in the, I think it's a Tusi who wrote the Tusi, I can't remember exactly. So he goes, Sadiq said, if a free man or unmarried man and an unmarried free woman and an unmarried woman, if they commit zina, then you whip them 100 whips each. And if there was a married man and a married woman, then it's upon them that you do rajm. Then he says, look, وَعَنْهُ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامُ الرَّجْمُ, and there's been a narration from Abi Abdullah alayhi salam in regards to rajm fil Qur'an, in the Qur'an. Rajm is in the Qur'an. Even Faith al-Kashani in Tafsir Safi confirms it. So Saduq confirms it in al-Shara'i. Qumi confirms it in his tafsir. Now Faith al-Kashani in Tafsir Safi volume 3, getting into further narrations in relation to confirming that ayat al-rajm is in Shia sources, which they've been quite vocal against, due to one reason only, and I'm going to say as it is only because Umar ibn Khattab narrated it, saying that there was ayat al-rajm. And now we have to be fair, rather you have to be fair, that these narrations now, I've got another book to quote to confirm. I'm going to connect it from the 3rd to the 4th to the 10th to the 11th to the 11th to the 12th, and you will see that this principle of rajm was a principle, or shall I say, was revealed, and there was an actual explanation as to why it wasn't placed in the Qur'an, and we've got that explanation. Now we want to know what your explanation is, okay? Because you've been quite, forthcoming in terms of your opposition. Why is it not there? Why Umar al-Khattab said it was? Where is it? And where is it? Well, we've got 2 of your books saying it was there so far. I'm going to present a few others. So Tafsir al-Safi, his real name is Faith al-Kashani. He quotes, in part 1 I quoted just part of the second part, so I'll just go back to the first, so at least you know. So it goes, فِيهِ فِي التَّحْدِيب, I think Tusi or Tabrasi, I can't remember, but it's one of the two. And he quite narrated from Sadiq alayhi salam, he said, if an unmarried man or an unmarried woman commits zina, then whip them 100 times. As for the married man and the married woman, then it's upon you to do rajm. فَعَلَيْهُمَا رَجْمٌ. Now, he goes, وَعَنْهُ alayhi salam. So he's already mentioned on Sadiq, so he's going back. وَعَنْهُ alayhi salam, regarding Imam Sadiq. He goes, Al-Rajm fil Qur'an. The Rajm is in the Qur'an. And he quotes the same ayat that both Saduq here, Saduq, and Mr. Kummi quote as well, which is الشيخ والشيخة إذا زني فالجموع على البتة فإنهما قد يشهوا. So he confirms it, the same things in these two books. The same thing, exactly the same thing. Here you go. Now look what he does. He goes al-Kummi. So he actually refers back to this book here. Tafsir al-Kummi. He refers back to this. He goes al-Kummi. وكانت آيات الرجم نزلت في الشيخ وشيخته إذا زني, and he quotes the same thing. So you could see quite clearly now that I'm connecting the evidences together. So all the issues that you were having with Umar ibn Khattab, you can say now that that was done because of malice intentions. If you were to be honest and sincere, if you had academic dishonesty, you would not use that. You would not use that just because there's a topic that we're going to present later. But now from today on, you won't be able to quote Ayat al-Rajm because it's in your books as well. And it's clearly confirmed on the Imam that he also said there wasn't Ayat al-Rajm. Now, question to you, where is it? What's your explanation of why Ayat al-Rajm is not there? We've been explaining it all along. In the first video, you heard the explanation from our Sunni brother, Ahl Sunnah, Adnan Rashid. He was explaining it to you. And the second video, I was trying to explain it. We're not having none of it. Where is it? Where is it? That Allah and His Messenger mansukhti. Oh, Umar has to say Allah and His Messenger revealed it, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger mansukhti. No statement of such in here right now. So let's move on. So we've confirmed again. Al-Shara'i, Tafsir al-Kummi, and Tafsir al-Safi. For now. Now let's go to another narration. Or another book confirming the same thing. Wasal Shia, Umar RA, he died 11,004 in the 12th century. Obviously, he reached the, he was in the 10th, but he died in the 12th. Hadith number 34,211. بإسناد عن يونس عن عبد الله بن سينان عن أبي عبد الله عليه السلام قال الرجم في القرآن. Is rajm in the Qur'an? So this individual was asked, was rajm in the Qur'an? Sorry. Abi Abdullah said, قال الرجم في القرآن قوله عز وجل. So Imam Abi Abdullah said, rajm was in the Quran. And he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or Azza wa Jal said, إذا زني الشيخ وشيخته فالجموعهما البتة فإنهم قد يشعرون. The same thing again narrated in these three books. So rajm was in the Quran. Again and again I'm quoting. So we're not going to stop there because this chain is different. I've got a different chain in the same book. So there's two chains. So بإسناد عن يونس and Abdullah ibn Sinan and Abi Abdullah, and then he goes rajm was in the Quran. Now we're going to go to another narration, the same, same content but different isnad. So there's a different isnad. So those who you want to check the narration, I can get the word out. I'll just read it out to you. Yeah, I've got something here. 34,225. The previous one before that was 34,211. And this is the isnad. ومحمد بن علي بن حسين بإسناده عن هشام بن صالم هشام بن سالم and Suleiman bin Khalid. So different chain as you can see from the one before. He says قال قلت لي أبي عبد الله. So this and Suleiman and Khalid, I think that was the same one that was in Ismail and Suleiman bin, no, it's a different, totally different individual. He says Ibn Suleiman bin Khalid قال قلت لأبي عبد الله عليه السلام في القرآن رجم. So he asked Abi Abdullah, was there in the Quran ayat of rajm? He goes نعم. Then he said قلت كيف. So he's asking, how is that? How is there ayat of rajm? So he's asking the same thing to Abi Abdullah, similar to what you're asking, but you're doing it with malice intentions. He goes قال الشيخ والشيخة فالجموعهما البتة فإنهم قد يشعرون. The same thing. So we presented now clearly 4 different books over 6 centuries. Ilal al-Shara'i confirming there was an ayat al-Rajm from Abi Abdullah. Tafsir al-Kummi from Ali Ibrahim confirming that there was an ayat al-Rajm. Tafsir al-Safi from al-Kashani confirming there was an ayat al-Rajm. And we've got Wasal al-Shia, Hur al-Amali confirming that there was an ayat al-Rajm. So here we go. You can see clearly all of these books here confirming it. There you go. So what have you got to say for yourself? Umar ibn Khattab, you got an issue? Let's go. I've got an explanation here. Say, Hal Muslim. clearly from what's it called, Imam al-Nawawi. But you know what? I'm going to save that for another time. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come to the park and explain what I don't want to give them the actual explanation. You know why? Because they could just possibly use that. So I'm not going to do that. There's our explanation there. Fathul Bari and Sahih Muslim from Imam Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani. I'm going to explain that when I bring it to the park, but I'm not going to give it away. We've got our explanation clearly. What's yours? Because you was quite malicious with explaining it. And what the Imam Malik, I'll just give you that there's a narration of ours, obviously it's in Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, but what the Imam Malik also brings this, which 439. So, and this is regarding Umar ibn Khattab, and the Bukhari one's quite famous, but this is in Muwatta Imam Malik, and here it is under 1585. He just explains that Umar ibn Khattab came and said, obviously, what's it called? وَسُنَّ لَكُمْ سُنَّ, that upon you is a sunnah, وَفُرِدَتْ لَكُمْ فَرَائِدْ, and it's the farad that become obligatory upon you, وَتَرَكْتُمْ عَلَى الْوَادِحَةِ, and we've been left on clear clarity, إِلَّا أَن تَدَلُّوا بِالنَّاسِ يَمِينًا وَشِمَالًا, except for those who have been misguided from the people from the right to the left. But then he says that, he goes, فَقَدْ رَجَمَ رَسُولُ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ the Prophet did rajam, we do rajam, وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ, as for whose soul, my soul is in Allah's hands. لولا أن يقول الناس زاد عمر الخطاب في كتابه تعالى لكتبتهما. Because if the people would not have said that Umar has increased upon the Qur'an, I would have put the كتبتها. What was going to كتبتها? What was Umar going to write? الشيخ والشيخة فرجموها البتة. That's the same verse that your own Imam was saying in relation to the Ayat al-Rajum. And they confirmed it one after another. That was the same verse, and this is in Muwatta Imam Malik, confirming that was the verse. Al-Shaykh wa Shaykhatu farjumu al-bitta, the same verse, Muwatta Imam Malik, clearly confirming it. Last but not least, I am going to leave you without one more particular issue that you had, which was adult breastfeeding. That they use this quite maliciously as well against Aisha radhiyallahu anha. They got adult breastfeeding. Aisha radhiyallahu anha mentioned adult breastfeeding. So what I'll do, I'll see now if your standards are going to be complete throughout, from Rajam and adult breastfeeding. So let's get into this. So under page 404, hadith number 25,941. What did Abi Abdullah say? Okay, the chain is here. 25,941. Muhammad ibn Hassan bi Isnadi, and Muhammad ibn Hassan as-Saffar, he is the one that wrote Basair al-Darajat, where we're going to bring more narrations from that, and then we want you to authenticate it or weaken it. And Ismail ibn Hassan ibn Ali, apologies, my throat is really bad, I'm not feeling too good. Ibn Ali ibn Faddal, and Ibn Abi Amir, and Jamil ibn Darraj, listen to this, and Abi Abdullah, so that's the chain, so if you think I'm not quoting the chain. And Abi Abdullah alayhi salam, so Abi Abdullah said, إذا رضع الرجل, if a man was to do rida'a, meaning suckle, min laban al-imra'a, from the milk of the woman, رجل إذا رضع الرجل من اللبن الإمرأة حرم عليه كل شيء من ولدها. So he said, if a man was to drink the breast milk of a woman, adult breastfeeding, then everything is haram for him, everything haram from her offspring. So he would be unable to marry her offspring. Everything is impermissible. So quite clearly here now that we've got a narration from your own books saying that adult breastfeeding, and Abi Abdullah saying that if a man was to suckle on the milk of a woman, or suckle or suckle is not the rida'a, meaning breastfeeding, that's I apologize for that, it's not suckle, it's basically breastfeeding. الرجل من لبن الامرأة حرم عليه كل شيء من ولدها. So you got adult breastfeeding in your books as well. So your infallible Imam has also said the same thing. So it's just to, have some fairness across the board. So here you go. Here, let's line them up. Oh, you got one, you got two, there's a Shara, a Saduq, you got Tafsir al-Kummi from Ali Ibrahim al-Kummi, you got Tafsir al-Safi saying the same thing from Faith al-Kashani, you got Wasa'al al-Shia al-Hurr al-Amali saying the same thing about Rajam, and then you've also got Hurr al-Amali saying the same, basically saying, Abi Abdullah said if a man was to drink the milk of the woman, then the children of that woman becomes haram for him. So I'll just apologize, the clarity is not suckle, that's the wrong word to use, it's actually breastfeeding. So here you go, that's it for today. So as you can see, I've quoted many sources today. So I've quoted a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 books, but obviously different volumes, so it's 5 in total, clarifying obviously the position that Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah have in relation to these verses, rajam, and adult breastfeeding. Again, we don't, obviously Aisha had her opinion, her ijtihadi opinion, but obviously that within itself, we're not saying obviously that this should be, this is a practice amongst Ahl Sunnah that is obligatory upon us. We're saying, look, we're being fair and transparent, that obviously this is Aisha Anha's ijtihad, and she obviously, and Imam Nawawi explains it as well, so we're going to explain that when I bring it. Now we've got reasons, we've got, explanations as to why certain things obviously were placed or were not placed in the Qur'an, whereas your explanations were not clear. So just to go back, where is it in the Qur'an? Why is it not in the Qur'an? The same argument we're going to ask you now. Why was it not in the Qur'an? Your own books are saying it now. There you go. All of these are saying the same thing. Why is it not in the Qur'an? And to the other individual, Allah and His Messenger has to mansukh it. None of the quotes in here said that Allah and His Messenger mansukhed it. Not one quote. And I quoted 4 books. And one book is 2 volumes. Here you go. Obviously, sorry. One book had 2 narrations. Nothing at all. So you have to stand by your principle, if you are indeed truthful, that this verse is a problem for you, even now that it's in your sources, because you had a problem with it when it was in our sources. So can't be unjust to yourself, can you? You can't. You have to be fair and you have to be transparent across the board. So that's it for today. This will be released probably soon. I'm not going to release it straight away, but you will be released pretty 3-4 days, God willing, inshallah. So that's it. Alhamdulillah. I think another academic lesson to our brothers from Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah and our brothers and sisters from the Shia side. Those who don't know, again, this is, don't listen to certain individuals that, try to attack, not attack, structure is strong, but try to put forth an academic stance, where in reality, as we know, it's common. We've got this common understanding, but your explanation needs to be now given. Why is it not, in the Quran? So follow me on Facebook. Jazakumullahu khairan to every single one that follows me. I'm a brother with shortcomings. I keep saying that. If I made a mistake, I think I made 1 or 2. I said suckle, and that was wrong. I think breastfeeding is the right one, because it gives an impression of a certain image. So forgive me for that. That wasn't my intention. So again, Jazakumullah khairan for those who follow me on Facebook, Bro Hajji. I'll be posting. Now it's not just a response or rebuttals to Shia. I'm going to be putting on, alhamdulillah, reminders for Ahl Sunnah. And there's another thing as well. There's a book that I'm going to go through. It's a very good book. It's called Hukbat min al-Tarikh, written by Sheikh Uthman al-Khamis, hafidahullah, regarding Hukbat min al-Tarikh بعد وفاة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى المعركة Karbala. So it's from the time of the death of Prophet all the way to Karbala, explaining what happened, and he gives references, and it's very mukhtasar, it's very small, but I'm going to go through this with Ustad Muhid. I'm going to go through lesson by lesson. He has biographies of the companions, he has their stories, their major events, what happened, and etc, etc. So that's it. Bro Hajji Facebook, Bro Hajji 2018 on Instagram. Until next time, make dua for me, pray for the Muslims all over the world, who are being oppressed, and keep, all of us in your du'as. So that's it. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man tabi'ahum. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.